Dragon's Lair
is an arcade game that released in 1983 to massive success. And with success comes people wanting to join in on the profit. So a lot, and I mean a lot, of home versions were released over the years. So, which one should you play? What is the best official version of Dragon's Lair? Short answer, the Wii. Long answer, let's talk about it. I think it's important to really give you some perspective on how good or bad these ports can be, so let's lay some groundwork. Now, I will not be talking about the real early stuff, so no 8-bit home computer versions and no NES game, thank God. I will not be covering the overachieving Amiga port either. If you want to know more about it, then I highly recommend you watch MVG's video on it. So with that out of the way, here are the Sega CD, 3DO, and Jaguar CD ports. They were all published by ReadySoft, and unfortunately share some of the same flaws, such as the timing for inputs being way too tight, and the presence of this horribly garish UI. The Sega CD version came out first in 1993, and it's the worst one.
Dragon's Lair, a fantasy adventure where you become a valiant knight on a quest to rescue the fair princess from the clutches of an evil dragon.
The video is compressed as shit, to the point that I doubt this much dithering could be masked by a CRT. Unfortunately, the 3DO version isn't much better either. Though the video quality is improved, it retains the same awkward recut attract mode from the Sega CD version. Also, I couldn't even get past the first screen. Amazing. The Jaguar CD, on the other hand, being the least successful console in this trio, gets the best version. It's not good, mind you, but I did manage to get pretty far.
Dragon's Lair.
This is the 2001 Windows CD-ROM version by Digital Leisure. While the video quality isn't particularly great, it's a damn good port, maybe even the best one up to that point. You see, the previous home conversions were not arcade perfect. Well, duh. No, hear me out. The way they were structured was fundamentally different from the original arcade game. In the last three versions we looked at, for example, you would always play through the same scenes in order. Meanwhile, in the arcade game, scenes were played in a random order, likely to make it harder to memorize the inputs. This, as far as I know, is the first version to offer you both options. These home and arcade modes became a standard for future Digital Leisure releases, which is pretty cool. And that leads us to... Have you ever wanted to take Dragon's Lair on the go? Digital Eclipse somehow managed to fit the game on the Game Boy Color back in the year 2000, but I'd say there's a better and more impressive option. Dragon's Lair on DSiWare by Code Mystics. To reiterate, this is not on a DS cartridge. This is on DSiWare. That means that they managed to compress this whole game to roughly 16 of God's own megabytes. It's glorious. Yeah, enough dilly-dallying. Here is Dragon's Lair Trilogy on the Wii. This port certainly doesn't give a good first impression. The menus look tacky, and the picture is zoomed and cropped to fit widescreen TVs. However, if you change the aspect ratio to 4:3 in the Wii menu, you get the best official version of Dragon's Lair.
Dragon's Lair, a fantasy adventure where you become a valiant knight on a quest to rescue the fair princess from the clutches of an evil dragon. You control the actions of a daring adventurer finding his way through the castle of a dark wizard who has enchanted it with treacherous monsters and obstacles.
The picture quality is great, and the input timings are just right. There's also a really handy move guide option that shows button prompts on screen, much like modern implementations of QuickTime events. And as the title suggests, Space Ace and Dragon's Lair 2 are also included. But what about the modern versions on Steam, PS4, Switch, and Xbox? Unfortunately, they're subpar at best. The video is once again cropped to fit, but there is an arcade cabinet option that restores the oh god, what the hell is this? Also, the move guide is distracting and noticeably low res. You can turn it off though. Well, you can kinda turn it off, I guess. I really hope we get an actually good HD release of this game someday. Until then, just stick with the Wii version. But yeah, I think that's enough rambling from me. Hopefully you found this video useful, or at the very least entertaining. Take care.
Lead on, adventurer. Your quest awaits.